I told you I wasn't a fool, Plissken. Call me Snake. We heard about your paradiddles. Call me Snake. We need your Facechook live, Plissken. Call me Snake. Let's start a band, Snake. The name's Plissken, and no more Snake Plissken. When I finish Melbourne Musos Facechook live, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna kill me now, Snake. I'm too tired. Maybe after the door take gig.
Remember, once you're at the gig, you get a free beer.
You mean I've gotta share my drum kit too?
Yeah.
You're Snake Plissken, ain't you? I used to watch you on Facechook live. I thought you were dead.
Snake Plissken, I thought you were dead.
Woof! Hey! I heard you were dead. Snake Plissken, a bunch of us thought you were dead.
I know who you are. You're Snake Plissken. I thought you were dead.
There was an accident. About an hour ago, a plane went down inside Point Cook. The president was on board. President of what? That's not funny, Plissken. Call me Snake.
You're a drummer?
I'm an asshole.
Call me Snake. Oh, how's everybody tonight? Call me Snake. Hello, my name's Chris Quinlan. Welcome to Melbourne Musos Facechook Live. Oh, what a week, what a week, what a week. 1 degree, 0 degrees, -1 degree. Oh my God. Oh, shrinkage. Tonight, bit of jazz. I thought jazz was dead.
I thought you were dead.
Oh. Jazz is not dead, it just smells funny. Oh, there you go. So, as I said, my name is Chris Quinlan. Welcome to Melbourne Musos Facechook live on this Friday, 6 o'clock every week without fail. What I'm doing tonight, I'll talk a little bit about jazz. Jazz has many styles, just like rock. And if I go down the track of sort of doing it historically, you have trad jazz that started with ragtime. Scott Joplin, the entertainer. Trad jazz. Oh, won't you come home, you baby, won't you come home? And what I've got here is one of the most used scales in jazz is the Pentametonic Scale. And this particular one's in B flat. And you can also have the blues scale, which is the added, come on trigger, it's better, flat 5. So what goes on is I'm going to get a bit harmonical as well. And what goes on with this is that when you start with trad jazz at the turn of the 20th century, around about 1900, and arguably the trap set, the drum set as we know it, was sort of developed around about, the popular year is 1917 that it's attributed to. And one of the great people from New Orleans is Jelly Roll Morton, is attributed to one of the first jazz band leaders of the style. And essentially the trap set was just bits and pieces of all the different bits of kit that we now know as the drum set, and it's called the trap set. And things like the hi-hat, which used to be on a New Orleans march, all of a sudden you had a thing called the sock cymbal and things. I've talked about that in the past, but with another bent. And what happens is that with this, it developed into that, and then we've got swing jazz from the 20s into the 30s. You have Jeannie Krupa and Buddy Rich. Oh, and you get things like that. And then into the 40s, through the war years, big band jazz reigned supreme. Okay, you had Glenn Miller and the Dorsey brothers, and I particularly liked Artie Shaw. And people like that. And then post-World War II, we started with bebop, with your main protagonists, Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie, Max Roach on drums, people like Charlie Mingus on bass, Fables of Forbes, things like that. And then it went into modern jazz, Miles Davis, reigned supreme there. Oh! Very snaky rhythms.
Call me Snake.
And what happens is that then you went into the 60s. Oh, you have Elvin Jones, you have Tony Williams, all these beautiful people. And then the 60s, things got a bit out there and things, and one of my favourite drummers is Jack DeJohnette, who started with the four-way independence. There was no one thing keeping time. It was the whole fromage, the whole bit of cheese together, putting the swing and everything together there. Now that's the history of jazz wrapped up in, of course I can talk about people like Billy Cobham and Steve Gadd in the 70s, when we're starting to talk about jazz rock, and so on it goes from there, see, and what you have is your styles, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, lots of little subgenres and all sorts of business there. And what happens is all the different areas that jazz is in has its own kind of style and sound. I mentioned Jack DeJohnette. He became quite famous for the Ecm Sound from Manfred Eicher, European sound. Very out there stuff, but still beautiful stuff. Now let me talk about three things you're going to need, okay? When you're dealing with jazz, one of the main things is, I often say to my students, it's almost like top down. Like rock could be... that, you know, bottom up, bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat as a timekeeper and stuff. But with jazz, it's top down instead of bottom up, you see. So you could do almost a whole song with just cymbals, right? Little Latin. There you go, all cymbals. But then, that's the first thing. And then with those cymbals, I'll slow it down a bit, two different feels. The first one is the two feel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minims. Bum, 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 bing, bum, bang, bum. Da 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 bow. Ba ba da ba da da ba bow. Ba ba da. Down, my satin down, Then a 4-feel for the B section. I think you get the idea. So you got a 4-feel. I do love this cymbal, and the choice of cymbal is quite important with these kinds of things. So what we've got, I'll get onto cymbals and equipment in just 1 second after I said there's 3 main things. Get your cymbals right. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get a good cymbal sound, and then you got the 2-feel and the 4-feel. One of the great song forms is standard song, A, B, A. A lot of people call it the 32-bar song because it's 4 lots of 8. And what goes on is that so often I just warble through Satin Doll, and essentially it's the kind of tune where the A section is a 2-feel and the B section is a 4-feel for the head, for the main melody. And then it might go on to total 4-feel during the solos and stuff. But nevertheless, always be prepared to change up your feels during a song. You'll get all 3, that kind of thing. Now, I said cymbals, and what I've got here, the reason I'm bringing up cymbals is because so many of my students have electronic kits, and with all the COVID business and stuff, with online and all that, when the kids have sort of started to come back, and they're going out again because of what's going on at the moment with it, what happens is that they don't get a chance to play the real thing. When they're online, they're always on their electronic kits at home. So when they come into the studio here, I love my practice pad, but I use it like a desk now. And I say, no, you're doing the whole lesson on the kit. And my practice pad now is just the hi-hat. We do that together. That kind of business there. And so they get the touch. Because one of the things I've found with electronic drum kits is that the standard drum kit, like drum kit number 1, has the typical ride cymbal that you'd usually use for rock, ping, ping, ping. But so many of them, if you play them a little bit harder, like the threshold kind of deal, you get above, like if you think like this, like 1 to 10, what happens is that it changes to a bell. The actual sound. So the kids are having So one of the things I say to them is go into your settings and try and find a nice light jazz ride cymbal. I mentioned Jack Dejonet before. He's very famous for the flat ride sound. Okay, so wonderful sound to the point where it's called the Ecm Sound. And a flat ride is a ride cymbal without a bell. I used to have one, but I swapped it for this beautiful big 22-inch crash ride. But this is the 20-inch Sand series, the Benny Greb, the Byzance, Minor Byzance. That's got a beautiful sound. And what it also has is a lovely little crash. Ooh! Bit versatile. I tend to swap that one with this one up here, the Raw Bell, which is a lot drier. See? In jazz, sometimes, like put it this way, in rock, you might have one ride cymbal and about 4 or 5 crashes, depending on your style of rock. There's a lot of crash cymbals in metal because there's a lot of accents and things. But in jazz, it's the opposite. Sometimes people would have 2, even 3 rides and things like that, you see. Like that. The solos. on it goes, you see. Whoa! There you have it. And then what can go on then? You can start to do different things with the jazz thing. I'll bring it straight up to sort of like your jazz bebop poetry. Lord Buckley I mentioned a little while ago, and Jack DeJohnette. And one of the things you can do is... And I'm going to tie in that lesson from a little while ago with the hemiola. Notice there's that kind of feel of bung. I feel like I'm playing Frank Zappa's King Kong. Ba-da-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da. Frank Zappa's, and the Mother's Uncle Meat album, 1968. Tony Williams in the 60s was famous. He was just a kid, but he started to do the 4. Maybe that's where Bonham got it from. There you go. So that's a little bit about Jack DeJohnette and all that, but I can't get out of jazz without brushes, mate, brushes. I love my brushes. Now, what I do with brushes is one of the main things you can do is have a slow to medium and then a medium to fast. And one of the little basics that you can do is the most basic jazz brush pattern is trying to get a smooth circle. It's not even a circle, it's more like a football, like an oval there. And try and get it to speed like 1. You actually find a point where there's your number, like that, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, about there, you see. Oh, did you like that upside down? Wonderful camera work there. And then you have that, and then you just play your jazz rhythm over the top, you see. A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't use it very much though, but it's a great way to start to get the horizontal. When you're dealing with brushes, there's the vertical, playing like so. And then there's the horizontal, you see. You need a coated head. The clear heads are cooked, mate, cooked. So you do that. Now what happens is, what I do is have that. Now you have the oval with both hands there. Can you see that okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and you get them both like that. And then what you put in is the tars. And the tar delineates the time signature. So you could have a 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3 to 1, 3 to 1, 2, 3 to 1. You could have 4, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3. And when I put in the little frills, they go vertical. One thing I can do with my feet down here, so little odd sock cam down the bottom there, can you see me doing heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe? I'll show you later, don't worry. On the 4-camera shoot, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Ta-da! Thank you very much, umpire. There you go. Ooh! So that's what goes on. Now I really do that for slow to medium tempos, and then with the brushes, what I do for the medium to fast, there's a kind of an overlap, like a gear change. If you've got a medium tempo, you could use both. It depends on whether you want 3rd gear or 4th gear, if you're thinking about gearboxes and the like. But what goes on now is that you go side to side. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. So what happens now is that you'd find the number, at least for me, on the left side of the snare drum. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Put a little accent on the 2 and 4. And then your little tar is like a little skip, like piffing a pebble, you know, across a river. Like that. You'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Sort of flick. I'll do it up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's something to be said for putting a bit of tension on the snare wires, like that. Give it a bit of a flick. So that's what that is there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Bit of an overlap there. Can you see that? You got the picture there. 1, 2, 3. Now there's the overlap. That's sort of like a slow medium, and I'm doing the number 2, and I can swap. It gives you a bit of a different texture. 1, 2, 3. A little bit more intense, I suppose. There you go. Now, is that time already? Oh, I've already gone over. Okay, all right. So what happens? I've still got something. I've got a little story tonight. Ooh! Topical. Hello, audience. There you go. Topical. The room clearer story. But what it is before I finish, I said earlier on in the piece, I was doing the B-flat pentatonic. I did change it when I was preparing the show, and I turned it into a B-flat blues scale. Now, what happens is with the B-flat pentatonic, I put it there, the scale degrees, but you have a 1, you have a flat 3rd, you have a 4th, a 5th, and then a flat 7, up an octave, and then the octave, right? So what you've got, I might go back to here, right? Oh no, I'll leave that there. Okay, so. Okay, there you go. It's a 5-note scale with the octave makes 6, you see, so there you go. And what happens is that's a pentatonic. Now, when you want a blues scale, you add the Diables in Musica, and that's the flat 5. You add the flat 5 to it, and that's what that. There with the dodgy trigger, mate. There it is. There it is there. And that's what you have, you see. So that's the pentatonic and the pentatonic and the blues scale, which is amongst the most used scales in the world. And the other things you can do is there's a bebop scale where you'd add the second as well. You add to it like that. Then you'd work the modes, like Miles Davis's Kind of Blue. You know, you work to. And who remembers George Russell's Lydian chromatic concept? Lydia. Okay. I nearly went into Groucho Marx there. What is that? Go West. That joke. See, so what it is I'm working that up. Putting in a bit of a rim shot. When you do a rim shot with the brushes, you actually do it with the wires. You don't really go into like that. You can. All these little tricks of the trade, but yeah. There you go. Now, I'll wrap the show up. I hope you like that little bit that I'm doing. There you go. What I can also do is when I go back to sticks and stuff, you can work things up.
Call me Snake. Call me Snake. Call me Snake. Call me Snake. Call me
Snake. Play against the rhythm. Call me Snake.
Call me Snake. Call me Snake.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Call me Snake. Call me Snake. Plissken. Call me Snake. What do you think, Snake? Call me Plissken. What goes on? I've got to thank Marcus Sastamoyne for that. Last week he said, we were actually talking a little old politics there. And he said, sorry if I was a bit curt. And I said, Kurt Russell. Who remembers Escape from New York? Oh, what a film. John Carpenter. Oh, one of the classics. You could call me Snake. There you go. And so thank you, Marcus, for that. Sorry. I might be a bit curt. Let's go, Kurt. Hey.
I'm not a fool, Plisken.
Call me Snake.
Told you I wasn't a fool.
Call me Snake.
We heard of you.
Call me Snake.
Fun.
Call me Snake.
We'd make one hell of a team, Snake.
Name's
I'm
Plissken.
not a fool.
Call me Snake.
We heard of you, too. Not fun. We'd make one hell of a team, Snake. I'm not a fool. We heard of you, too.
All right, enough of that.
We'd make one hell of a team,
Snake. It's Plissken. Now what I was going to do, I have a new story for you. And I'm going to play fairly straight with brushes for this. Oh, it's the sordid tale of Winnie the Pooh, our hero, going for his door take gig in a little thing called Winnie the Pooh Gets Cooked. I like him. I hope you do too. Anyway, there you go. Here we go. Oh, I've got to work quick. Oop.
Chapter 3, in which Pooh and Piglet go hunting and nearly catch a woozle. The Piglet lived in a very grand house in the middle of a beech tree, and the beech tree was in the middle of the forest, and the Piglet lived in the middle of the house. Next to his house was a piece of broken board, which had "Dirty Door Take Dive Bar" written on it. When Christopher Robin asked the Piglet what it meant, he said it was a place you could go to play some music with your mates and get ripped off and only get one free beer for all your troubles. And Christopher Robin said, you couldn't possibly play at a scum place like that if they asked you to do all this work for free. And Piglet said, yes you could, you dickhead, because his grandfather ran a dirty door-take dive bar. So, Piglet and Christopher Robin kept on arguing and kept on going round and round until COVID came along, cancelled all the gigs, and everyone was shit out of luck. So, one fine winter's day when Piglet was brushing away the snow in front of his house, he happened to look up and there was Winnie the Pooh. Pooh was walking round and round in a circle, thinking of something else, and when Piglet called to him, he just went on walking. Hello, said Piglet. What are you doing? Hunting, said Pooh. Hunting what? Tracking something, said Winnie the Pooh very mysteriously. Tracking what? Said Piglet, coming closer. That's just what I asked myself. I asked myself, what? What the hell am I tracking? Is it a dirty door-take gig? Oh my god, what am I going round and round for a dirty door-take gig for? I don't get paid, I don't get anything for it. It's cooked, mate, cooked! And with that, Winnie the Pooh settled down and kept on walking. Now, look there! He pointed to the ground in front of him. What do you see there? Tracks, said Piglet. Paw marks! He gave a little squeak of excitement. Oh, Pooh, do you think it's a woozle? Woozle? It may be, said Pooh. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. You never can tell with paw marks. With these few words, he went on tracking, and Piglet, after watching him for a minute or two, ran after him. Winnie the Pooh had come to a sudden stop and was bending over the tracks in a puzzled sort of way. What's the matter? Asked Piglet. It's a very funny thing, said Bear, but there seem to be two animals now. This, whatever it is, has been joined by another, whatever it is, and the two of them are now proceeding in company. Would you mind coming with me, Piglet, in case they turn out to be hostile animals? Piglet scratched his ear in a nice sort of way and said that he had nothing to do until Friday and would be delighted to come in case it really was a woozle. You mean in case it really is two woozles? Said Winnie the Pooh. And Piglet said that anyhow he had nothing to do until Door-Take Friday. So off they went together. There was a small spinney of larch trees just here, and it seemed as if the two woozles, if that is what they were, had been going round this spinney. So round this spinney went Pooh and Piglet after them. Suddenly, Winnie the Pooh stopped and pointed excitedly in front of him. Look! What? Said Piglet with a jump, and then, to show that he hadn't been frightened, he jumped up and down once or twice more in an exercising sort of way. The tracks, said Pooh. A third animal has joined the other two. Pooh! Cried Piglet. Do you think it is another woozle? No, said Pooh, because it makes different marks. It is either two woozles and one, as it might be, whizzle, or two, as it might be, whizzles as one. If so, it is woozle. Let us continue to follow them. So they went on, feeling just a little anxious now in case the three animals in front of them were of hostile intent.
And Pooh thought how nice it would be if they met Christopher Robin, the dickhead. Suddenly, but quite accidentally, and only because he liked Christopher Robin, the dickhead, so much. And then all of a sudden, Winnie the Pooh stopped again and licked the tip of his nose in a cooling manner. For he was feeling more hot and anxious than ever in his life before. There were 4 animals in front of them. Do you see, Piglet? Look at their tracks. 3, as it were, woozles, and 1, as it was, whizzle. Another woozle has joined them. And so it seemed to be. There were the tracks, crossing over each other here, getting muddled up with each other there, but quite plainly, every now and again, the tracks of 4 sets of paws. I think, said Piglet, when he had licked the tip of his nose too, and found that it brought very little comfort, I think that I have just remembered something. I have just remembered something that I forgot to do yesterday and shan't be able to do tomorrow. So I suppose I really ought to go back and do it now. We'll do it this afternoon and I'll come with you, said Pooh. It isn't the sort of thing you can do in the afternoon, said Piglet quickly. It's a very particular morning thing that has to be done in the morning, and if possible, between the hours of, what would you say the time was? About 12, said Winnie the Pooh, looking at the sun. Between, as I was saying, the hours of 12 and 12:05.
It sounds
like
a little
sexual.
said Pooh.
So really, dear old Pooh, if you'll excuse me.
I'll just work blue.
What's that? Pooh looked up at the sky, and then as he heard the whistle again, he looked up into the branches of a big oak tree, and then he saw a friend of his. It's Christopher Robin the dickhead, he said. Then you'll be all right, said Piglet. You'll be quite safe with him. Goodbye! And he trotted off home as quickly as he could, very glad to be out of all danger again. Christopher Robin, the dickhead, came slowly down his tree. Silly old bear, he said, what were you doing? First you went round the spinney twice by yourself, and then Piglet ran after you, and you went round again together, and then you were just going round a 4th time. Wait a moment, said Winnie the Pooh, holding up his paw. He sat down and thought, in the most thoughtful way he could think. Then he fitted his paw into one of the tracks, and then he scratched his nose twice and stood up. Yes, said Winnie the Pooh. I see now, said Winnie the Pooh. I have been foolish and deluded, said he, and I am a bear of no brain at all. I've been going round and round and round, doing nothing but dirty door-take dive bars. I'm getting nowhere! Round and round I go all these years, and all I've got to show for it is a free beer, and I have to pay to play. Oh, I'm such a dickhead. It's cooked, mate, cooked! And Christopher Robin, you dickhead, you're the sound guy, aren't you? You just know. And I don't get paid, I just get a free beer for going round and round and round the door-take circuit and getting nowhere. I have been foolish and deluded, said Pooh, and I am a bear of no brain at all. You're the best bear in all the world, said Christopher Robin, the dickhead, soothingly. Am I, said Pooh hopefully, and then he brightened up suddenly. Anyhow, he said, it's nearly time for the door take. We're the 5th band on. We're going to get a free beer. So he went home for it to get his drumsticks and plodded off home. And then he did the door take and he got a free beer. Then Christopher Robin, the dickhead, asked, how did your door take gig go? And Pooh said, oh, man, it was cooked, mate, cooked. There were 40 people there, that's a full house. And we got part of the bar sales, but they took 20% off the door before we started, and the whole band only got paid $90. The whole band! It's cooked, mate, cooked! The end.
Oh, I love doing them, as you know. Oh, there was Piglet again. Oh, hello, audience. How are you? I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Oh, jazz is not dead. It just smells funny.
I thought you were dead.
No.
Heard you were dead.
Ah, it's dead. Oh, call me Snake. Oh, I'm out of here. All right. Thank you. This will be up tomorrow with the 4-camera shoot. Oh! My name's Chris Quinlan. There you go. I had fun tonight. It was fun. I love my brushes. See you later.
I told you I wasn't a fool, Plisken. Call me Snake. We heard about your paradiddles. Call me Snake. We need your Facechook live, Plisken. Call me Snake. Let's start a band, Snake. The name's Plisken, and no more Snake Plissken. When I finish Melbourne Musos Facechook live, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna kill me now, Snake. I'm too tired. Maybe after the door take gig.
Remember, once you're at the gig, you get a freebie.
You mean I've got to share my drum kit too?
Yeah.
You're Snake Plissken, ain't ya? I used to watch you on Facechook Live. I thought you were dead.
Snake Plissken, I thought you were dead.
Woof! Hey!
I heard you were dead. Snake Plissken, a bunch of us thought you were dead.
I know who you are. You're Snake Plissken. I thought you were dead.
There was an accident. About an hour ago, a plane went down inside Point Cook. The president was on board. President of what? That's not funny, Plisken. Call me Snake.
You're a drummer?
I'm an asshole.